Okay, so you've decided that you want to create your first hyperdoc and you don't know where to begin. I'm going to walk you through the steps and show you exactly what I did to get started. So I was scrolling through the samples and I thought that this looked interesting to me, the career and technical education, so I decided to start there. And there was not a whole lot of things in here that I could use, but there was one thing that was perfect: how to write a professional email. So I decided to start with that. So when I open that up, I scroll through it. And if you've ever purchased anything from Teachers Pay Teachers, you know that they're pretty much ready to go. They can be purchased and rolled out as is. That is not necessarily the case with a HyperDoc. A plus side to using one of these HyperDoc samples is for those people who are not familiar with a lot of different educational technology tools, there are suggestions literally built right into the assignment. So you could check it out and see if it's something that works for you. Um, so, that being said, it is just a suggestion. It might work, it might not work. And even if it does work, it probably needs to be personalized for your activity. So, for example, for this hyperdoc that I thought I could use, the engaging piece or the activating strategy, I could leave that as is. So, there was nothing I needed to do to that. Basically, it was a turn and talk. The second thing, the exploration, suggested that I use a Padlet. So the Padlet is something that you do need an account for, and you do need to actually set it up before you give this to the kids. So it tells you to go right out to Padlet.com, and you have to log in with your Google account, and it's really that simple to create an account. It's free. So once you're in Padlet, you're going to have to create one. And if you're not familiar with it, it might take you a little bit of time to explore the differences of the layouts and how they work. So for this example, I'm just going to use the first one. And it chooses a design for you, which you don't need to keep that if you don't like it. You can modify it over here. So the title of my Padlet is going to be Writing a Professional Email. Okay, writing a professional email, brainstorm situations where you may need to or want to email an adult. You can choose to add an icon. You can change the wallpaper. If you're going to allow viewers to leave comments or likes and upvotes, require approval before things get posted, filter profanity, always good. You might need that too. Okay. And then lastly, you're ready to share it with your students. So share, copy link to clipboard, go ahead back to your HyperDoc, and you're going to click on the logo to Padlet, click on the hyperlink, and paste it in here and apply. So now you've personalized the Padlet. The explanation is a YouTube video, so of course you want to always preview all the videos that are suggested just to make sure that it's appropriate for your audience. And in this case, mine was. I already previewed it and it was actually perfect for the lesson. The apply part, I wanted to make a little change to. So the apply part for the person who created this, they just said head on out to Google Docs and draft a sample email. I didn't want it to do it that way because that would mean that I had 200 shared Google Docs coming into my Google Drive. And I wanted this to be attached to a Google Classroom assignment because it makes it easier for me to grade it. So I went to Google Classroom, created an assignment, and once I did that, I created a template also. So I used a Google Doc and I created a template with directions to use the space below to draft an email. Make sure you include the subject and the salutation and the closing. I also gave little tips from the video and also a checkbox to make sure that they didn't forget anything. And this template, I shared the link. So anyone at Octorara with this link can view. So I copied that link and added that as an assignment. So it does need a title, writing a professional email. Okay. So now that I had that as an assignment in Google Classroom, I could go to the three dots at the end, copy the link, and that is the link that I put inside of my HyperDoc. Okay, so I clicked on that logo, clicked on the hyperlink, pasted the link in there so that when the students are going through the HyperDoc and they get to this and click on this link, it's not just going to take them to that Google Doc template. It's going to take them to the assignment in Google Classroom. That way I can grade it inside of Google Classroom and use the rubric tool that is there, so it makes my life a lot easier. So that was just a little added tip. The answer garden, which again, this is what I meant earlier when I said there's some tech tools in here that you may or may not have already been familiar with. So this is another one that it's just giving you a suggestion, but it does need some setup. So when you head on out to Answer Garden, this is not something that you need to create an account for. Basically, you just type in a question. Okay, type in your question. Choose the length of your answer. Put in an admin password, which enables you to edit this later on if you need to. And answer any of the other modifications that you may or may not want, and then create. And it gives you a link to share. Copy the link, go back to your HyperDoc, and paste the link in there, which I already did. So I'm not going to do that again. Okay, and then down here where this creator had a share option, she created a Google form for the students to share their assignment. And I don't have to do that because I have it going directly into a Google Classroom assignment. So I would delete that part. And then the extension part I left on there. I thought it was perfect. Publish with purpose, choose a teacher or staff member to email. So that is how I created my first HyperDoc assignment. And this is what it looked like in my Google Classroom right here. How to write a professional email. So even though there are two links in here, the kids only have to go to one, the resource link, and this one, if they do click on this, it will take them directly to the assignment. So it's okay if they do. But if they don't, which they probably won't, that's okay also, because they will automatically be sent there by clicking on the link that is inside of my HyperDoc. So I truly hope that helps some people. Those of us using Google Classroom, I think it can come in really handy. And even for you junior and senior high folks who are in Schoology, now that you're doing hybrid learning, I can definitely see some value for this tool to be using with students when they're not in the room with you to eliminate the question or the excuse that they didn't know what to do and they couldn't find the assignment, because it's all right there in one neat little contained package. So thanks for coming. Hope you had some value in this, and I hope to talk to you soon.